All right, and welcome everybody. As we're here on Project Cars 2, we are about to do a lap around the historical spa as we try to recreate one of the more wilder F1 races that's happened. 1966. This race was just, the conditions were awful. Torrential rain. I was something like half of the grid either DNF'd or had mechanical failure within the first lap. And I'm actually going to be in one of the cars that had a mechanical failure, the Lotus. I believe it was so much water it flooded the engine before it could even complete the first lap. It was just, conditions were absolutely horrible. Alright, regardless, we're going to get into it here. We are in the Lotus 25 with our handy dandy Logitech 5-speed shifter here. This car was actually a little bit different than the car that Graham Hill and Jim Clark were driving on that day. They were driving the Lotus 33 Climax, which is almost identical, still 1500cc motor, 1.5 liter. Car's got about 200 horsepower and weighs less than 1,000 pounds. So when you talk about power to weight ratio, this thing definitely has quite a bit. It goes about 170 mile an hour. As we're just coming through, flying right here, so much spray. We're just gonna put the foot down and hope for the best. As a little bit of a left-hander coming up. Oh, as we see, this orange car has a little bit of a moment. We have to check up, but we're gonna still send it here, try to put the power back down as a one downshift here. We're trying to roll the corner nicely. We don't want to lose the back end too much. Did you just see the safety standards back in the day, how it was? I think this is the race where Jackie Stewart actually flipped his car and was upside down for something like 10 minutes, just drenched in race fuel. And thankfully was able to make it out of there and get flipped back over, I think, by some spectators. There's a big run coming. We're going to dip down to the inside. A couple cars in front of us, though. It looks like the blue car is going to have to mess up, so we have to check up a tiny bit. We've got to be super careful there. We're going to stay in the higher gear and use the torque just to roll out of this corner and now throttle out. We've got to be very careful staying off of the white part of the track. Well, the road, really, this was not even really a real racetrack, just public roadway back in the day. As you could just see how much different it was back then. You're driving past people's houses, which, what a phenomenal view that would be on your Sunday breakfast. Yeah, I think the lap time was something like the range of 3:30 in good conditions, which is nowhere near the 1:40 that we're used to in modern day F1s. As we're going to downshift just a little bit one time, then throttle back out, minor lift there. And which is definitely a lot different than we've seen even this year's Spa, which didn't even take place because of it was too wet in the safety conditions. But as we're coming through, we're just gonna lift up a tiny bit, try to carry the speed. Still in the higher gear, we're not gonna downshift though. Even though now we're going to let this thing scream back up to 9,500, 10,000 RPMs. Sounds glorious coming out. Back up into 5th gear and just let her ride. Yeah, these cars, there's no wing on these cars, no front wing, no rear wing. As we have to brake just a little bit there, slide the car in just a tiny bit. We're going to downshift one more time. Yeah, no, it was all mechanical grip. No aero grip at all, just... And obviously no traction control, no ABS in these cars back in the day. They were just straight animals. And then obviously with that evolution, with the Lotus Type 49, oh, there's a little bit of a lockup there coming into this tight hairpin, coming around the final corner here. But the evolution just from this car to the Type 49, which had, I think, 440 horsepower like that and only weighed 1,200 pounds. But no, that is a lap of the historical Spa. A lot different than the Spa that we are used to today. But it's definitely still a very fun one, though, especially in these cars. In these conditions, make it a little interesting as well, as try to replicate what these guys went through back in the day. But no, these guys were strapped into a straight rocket ship, essentially, and filled up with race fuel and went out there on wheels. And I hand it to them. I mean, no seat belts, no nothing, just straight cojones. And as we got a guy dipping down to the inside here. He's got quite a run on us, though, but we're gonna squeeze him out, though. Downshift one time coming through here. So it looks like yeah, no, you could just imagine. I mean, imagine sitting on the side of the track, cars coming by you 150 mile an hour like that. I mean, like it was a rally race or something, but it was an F1 race. This guy's got a big run coming up on us as well here, but we're gonna go ahead and squeeze the door shut just a tiny bit as we got our gear wound out now. With minor lift coming up for this corner, then we're back pinned in it, using the car to slide through. And just feel how bumpy the old track is as we slide through. That'll do it for us, as I hope that gives everyone an idea of what these guys had to go through back then on that day in 1966, trying to drive around this crazy circuit. Oh, as we already hit it, see that puddle is starting to form there at the very bottom. But if you enjoyed it, hit that like and subscribe. If not, keep on scrolling.